All right, hello everybody, and welcome to Geopolitical Trends, where truth matters. Very, very excited to be with you today. I have an interesting topic. I'm going to talk briefly here for about literally 15 or 20 minutes, and we're going to head out to a different location because of the nature of the information. I rather just feel comfortable. This way I can talk freely on the other location. So let me see who is here first and say hi to everybody. Hamad Sidi, as always, good to see you. Ko Chiwi, good to see you as always. Let me see who is here. Alan Seen, good to see you from North Bay, Ontario. I always enjoyed, by the way, Alan Seen, I always enjoyed when I used to travel to Canada. I was there about, what was it, like 8 months ago or so. I might be going back up there. There is a buddy of mine that I need to see, so I always enjoy being there. So, Aparishit Jay, good to see you, and hello to you as well. Timeline Dunkley, good to see you from New York. Phil, as always, from Canada, good to see you. Ryan from Monmouth, Illinois. Wow, that's good to see you, man. Happy to have you here. Apirichi J from Delhi, India. Good to see you. Wow. Very, very, very excited to see you here, man. Karakulak, good to see you from Central Florida. I used to go to spend a lot of time at what was the name of it? Near not Miami Beach. No, I drew a blank of it. Where a lot of students during spring break will head out to. There's a military base there off limits anyway. So Francis Tango, good to see you. And MI3 from Pakistan. Interesting. Good to see you. Good to see you also. Uh Let me share this with you. Now, I know this person might not be real. I see that David is still blocking comments that dispute his possession. Well, if I were blocking comments, I will remove you from the chat box here. So your argument doesn't hold unless you have a personal grudge with me. So I kind of refute your statement here, man. Come on, get real. Okay? So to show you how we operate in this community, I'm letting you be here. So if I were deleting comments, I would have removed you. So stop this nonsense, okay? All right, let's get into our topic. By the way, I don't have any headlines today because yesterday I had to spend a lot of time just reading up on things, just to update myself. I'm aware of what's going on in Pakistan, has always been aware of what's going on in Pakistan, spend a lot of time on the border near Pakistan and Afghanistan, very familiar with the dynamics on regarding Pakistan, Islamabad, and so forth. And this is what I'm going to be detailing more on the next location. Let me share this with you on a screen. Then I'm going to type it. Somebody told me to put it outside the screen. I didn't quite understand because he or she had a hard time accessing the link from his or her phone. So I don't know where to put it outside the screen. I don't know what he meant by that, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it in the chat box for you guys. So if you can access it through your phone, it should be easier with this. So here is the link in the chat box, and you guys can take a look at it over there as well. And please share it with others who might want to. Oh, look who is here. That's my editor, guys. Oh, very, very excited. Let me show here. This is my editor, guys. Just coincidentally, usually they, he's been, guys, the videos you are watching and all that stuff, that's this guy here, Hamad. Very incredible guy, honest guy. He's from Pakistan, straightforward. Anytime we run to an issue with any editing, I'll just send him an email. He'll take care of it in no time. Very, very reliable guy. So if you are looking for someone who does not only editing, he does also he's into computer stuff. I don't even understand all that, but he's very savvy. So you guys check him out. And Hamad, if you can next time just provide me a link, whatever, where the community here, I'm sure somebody will need some editing for some other stuff, not just YouTube here. So good to see you, Hamad, as always. Good to see you here. What was I gonna say? Yeah, the link for the Rumble, where I'm gonna be going on later on, after I'll talk briefly here about all this. So and yeah, guys, please keep an eye on if somebody is out of line as far as comments, whatever, because we want to keep the community here. You all know how it is. So let me share the questions with you first, because there are some key questions you need to know before I'll delve deeper into all this. Deeper briefly here, then I'll talk on the other side. So here are the questions. Now, what's behind this trial? Now, whether you like Imran Khan or not, it's irrelevant. Do I care for the guy? Well, I don't know him. I know of him, but this is not about him. This is about justice and fairness. That's all. I know there are pros and cons against Imran Khan. Well, ask Pakistanis. I'm not the one to come up with an idea about, no, everybody likes Imran Khan or everybody dislike Imran Khan. That's not my place. I am not from Pakistan. But based at least on when he was in the premiership, the prime ministership, that is, most Pakistanis, majority, were okay with it. And Hamad, correct me if I'm wrong. You're from Pakistan, so some say, well, he is an honest person. Others say, no, he is corrupted. But you have to understand how the system in Pakistan is. This is what I always asked myself about. Do the Pakistani people, is the Pakistani people that end up paying the price? You look at where the economy of Pakistan is, country that has a lot of human capital. They're very smart people. You don't become a nuclear power just out of the whim of your. And this is one of the issues we in the United States have with Pakistan. And I'll detail all this next when we get into the other platform. So what's behind this trial? Because this is like some sort of is politically motivated. Is this an assassination of character, or sort of character assassination for him? Is it just to turn the balance out? Because remember, the decision was made only a few days before the elections in Pakistan, which will be, if I am not mistaken, on February the 8th, which is next week. So that's one of the questions. The second question is, who's benefiting from this? Now, Pakistan, like every other country, have its own domestic entanglements and so forth. There are entities inside Pakistan that they will prefer to have a chaos so they can benefit politically. I'm not denying this. We have it right here in our own country. So it's no different. It's just kind of the timing of it, which will lead you to ask the question, who might be benefiting from this and why? And the third question is, what will become of Pakistan? My big concern has always been, what will happen if Pakistan descends into chaos? I hope it never does. But just think about it. A nuclear country. It's something we have to really think seriously about. You can assume, but at the same time, the Pakistani people are the ones paying the price. So why their sort of the livelihood of an average Pakistani standard of living goes up, when only those in the government, the higher ups, whatever, special interest groups, they do have the same, are benefiting. I'm very familiar with some cases of where former prime ministers have been involved in a corruption, to the point that I was even aware of the assets that they had, or they possess, or they still have, not in Pakistan, but in other places around the world. Remember, I used to work in Washington. I had access to certain things. So that's where. So those are basic questions we ought to ask, because without them, we won't understand the big picture. Ask anybody in the Western world, what do you know about Pakistan? immediately they're gonna use one term start with a T because that's all they know about, because that's what they've been brainwashed with, which is not true. We have that here, right here in our own, just in a different setting, in a different format. So, and yet Pakistani people I've dealt with, I have close friends of mine from Pakistan right here in the US. They'll take the coat out of their back for you. They mean it. Well, to me, that's my experience. So that's how I see it. So this is what we're gonna be addressing today briefly here. Then I'll jump onto the other location. Elizabeth Robb, good to see you from the coast of England. Good to see you. Good to see you here, son. Now, as I said, and I'm not doing headlines today because I didn't have enough time to do all this. So we'll get right away, right into it. So, is the trial of the sentencing of the former Prime Minister of Pakistan, Imran Khan, politically motivated? It's logical question to ask, because we can assume that is not the case because the timing. So now, let me, before I jump into this, let me share with you geography a little bit here, a little bit of history, and I'm going to jump into the analysis on the other platforms. So let me open up my link here for the, and by the way, I give credit to World Atlas. That's where I get those maps that I share with you guys, the one you are seeing on the screen. That's where I get them from. So I give credit to them for that. So here's the screen. I want to share it with you. There we go. Let me full screen. What you see on the right of the screen, because that's in on the internet. That's how it is. That's Nawaz Sharif. By the way, his brother is the one prime minister. Nawaz Sharif was involved in corruption as well, and his assets were in England. So I'm very familiar with his case as well. So, but again, we're not here to point fingers. Well, I don't do that because that's ridiculous. So Pakistan is a sovereign country in Southeastern Asia, one of those key players in Southeast Asia. So located in both in the northern and eastern hemisphere of the earth. It borders 4 main countries. You know, Pakistan share its eastern border with India. You all know what's going on between India and Pakistan. And that was by design also over the history of that. If you go back, so far, the main issue that's still, what is the main hot topic regarding India, Pakistan? If you guys can type it in the chat box. Let me see. And again, I just want you to be part of the conversation. Now, what is the main hot topic? Occupied Kashmir. That is correct. Kashmir still and will remain a religion, of course, Pyongyang too. Religion is part of it, but because you got the Hindus on India side, you got the Muslims on the Pakistani side, but mainly has to do with Kashmir, because that is the main issue there. So that is where the issue is. So Pakistan shares its eastern border with India, northeastern border with China, another big player there, a southwestern border with Iran, and western and northern border with Afghanistan. So this is where, when I mentioned I was in the border, that's what I was referring to earlier. So then you have the Arabian Sea and the Gulf of Oman borders Pakistan to the south. It's a very interesting geography when it comes down to Pakistan. And this is why even for Pakistan's BRI has been undermined by some outside entities, because the attacks that were conducted in Balochistan, they were orchestrated and what's the word? Yeah, orchestrated by some outside element for specific reason. And I am very familiar with that. So that is part of where Pakistan is. When you look at it, it's a very this is the area where I'm pointing at. You guys can see it, Jammu and Kashmir. Very interesting location there. As to as to main locations inside Pakistan, well, there are few. There are few locations there. You look at, for example, Karachi, you look at Lahore, Faisalabad, you got Rawalpindi. I'm a little familiar with Rawalpindi. You look at Hyderabad, then you have Abbottabad. That's where I'll talk about this later. So those are the main areas within Pakistan. So regarding its history, Pakistan, it's a modern creation, believe it or not. But that does not mean it didn't have way back over 5 millennia ago. That's where the settlers were in that part of the world. And they were mainly from the Indus Valley civilization way back, some 5,000 years ago. That's a lot of people have no idea. They think, oh, Pakistan was just the creation of the split of India when Britain left. No, yeah, to a degree, but there is an old history out there. So the Indo Valley people mixed with the Aryans moving in from the north during the second millennium BC, before coming, which is combined now. These people are called the Vedic culture. So if you are inside Pakistan, you will know exactly. Most of us in the West, I'm one of those, I did not know till I had to dig into this. I did not know about the Vedic culture traces its root back to the area in Pakistan as far as the Indo Valley people. So, and that's where they created because from these Vedic cultures, it paved the way to the creation of what they call those epic stories about the Hinduism and so forth. That also traces its root back, its foundation to this one. So, but as a whole, Pakistan is still young by standard of contemporary history. So, but human history in the area reaches back, as I said, for over 10,000 of years. But recently, of course, you think about how, if you are to assess it under the recent history, you think about Pakistan has inextricably linked in the world's view with sort of the extremism, because that's how they are presented in the Western culture. There is a reason to that, guys. This is my point. If we have a narrative that can facilitate to manipulate the masses, that's what we do. So what we end up doing is saying, oh, this is what Pakistan is associated with, which is not true. Because if you look at the history of what took place in neighboring country of Afghanistan back then and who created all this, it will make more sense to you. And I will detail this later on as I move forward. So now, when you think about what's going on in Pakistan, anytime any government comes up to power there, the Pakistani government is always in a delicate position regarding the balancing of so many aspects of dealing with different groups, different ethnicities, and different realities. That is one thing that is very, very informative or important to understand about Pakistan. All right, let me see here. I am gonna cut this short here, guys, and I'm gonna meet you on the next location because I'm gonna get into some conversation that I will be limited if I keep it here. So let me put the link for you on the chat box. Then you guys can link in over there within the next literally 7 or 8 minutes or 10 minutes, whatever that is. Oh, this is what I'm gonna be. Okay, I will see you guys shortly. Let me just see something here on a chat box quickly. A Muslim revert, good to see you as always. All right, guys, I'll see you on the next location. As always, remember, geopolitics impact your daily life in more ways than one. See you soon. Bye-bye.